Hello, boys and girls, men, women, and children of all ages. This is Kenny at Lionel for Less with a follow-up video on making these shelves for less. I am putting up my second tier now of them in an attempt to get ready to finally do this layout and stop talking about it. And just in case anybody wanted to try this, what I have found is when you pick these fence posts out, really go through the boards and find the ones with the most knots in the wood. That way you'll have a stronger shelf, which might be common sense to most of you, but to the challenged, such as myself, I had to learn this. The first time I tried to pick out all the nicest looking ones and everything, because I didn't plan on, you know, staining them or finishing them or anything. But like, look what I've got going on over here on this top shelf. You could see how it bowed on me, and it hardly has anything on it. Now the bottom one, it's got knots and it's hanging in there real good, and it has a lot of weight on it. I've had more weight on it than that. I had a big boy sitting on there for a little while. The second one, the same way. Die-cast engines, heavy die-cast passenger set. But then the third one, just plastic cars. Some of them even MPC, lightweight, bowed. Not enough knots. This side's okay, so probably replace this side. Going to. Top one, it's still fine. It has a lot of knots in it. It's got die-cast shells, heavy stuff on it. Now this bottom one I've had engines on already. These four have been up for about almost a week now. And I've had engines on them and stuff. I took them off tonight because I'm trying to finish this up and move on to the next phase. And also what I've done is I've went to a little heavier, bigger joiner there. They call them mending plates. Number 8 screws, 3/4 inch, no glue of any type, and these boards with more knots in them are holding up a lot better. So that seems to be the secret in this. Get those boards, look through them. Look at that wood, because there's some real crap in there too that you'll have to go through. Now these are 10-foot sections, which I'm just cutting off 2 feet on one board and then joining a full 6-foot board. These are 6-foot fence posts, $1.99 each. Like I said, I couldn't find a way to do it cheaper. I did pick this up at York. It is a post-war 736. I got this for $80 with the tender. The wheels were seized up on it. The guy was asking $120 for it. And I said, you know, there's no way I'm giving you $120 for an engine that I can't turn the wheels by hand. But I knew probably what was wrong with it. uh, what was wrong with it is there's shims that go underneath these motors that are mounted like this that meet the worm gear, and you have to have the correct size ones. And this one had some kind of homemade shims, and it was just sitting way too far down and causing the engine to bind. Smoke unit works great. Everything else looks good on it. The E unit works great. It's all original. Tender. It just needed some oil, and it's gonna get springs and brushes as well as this. This brush plate's broken a little bit over here, so I may go ahead and replace that brush plate also. I also may put one of those MPC steam chests that have the holes for the smoke to come out, but that's no big deal. I'll probably just keep it original. But I mean, yeah, you can't touch a 736 for under 125 just for the engine these days. And you know, that's on eBay, and you know you're gonna have trouble with those. So I'm real happy with this one. I know we'll get that going. I've had it going around here, and I did find my 636W set, which last summer I got the engine stripped and ready to paint. And what I think I'm going to do is get another 3 Flying Yankee cars and paint it that green, that state green, the two-tone green. I think they call that the city of Denver. I'm not sure, but they're a lot more valuable, and certainly less of them are around. You know, I've still got some work to do here on the inside. I finished stripping it, but I wanted to get a coat of primer on it before the winter came in. I had a set of Texas Special cars here made by Williams, but they did not match the color of the post-war Texas Special, which now has 2 motors. And also I didn't like the way that the tops released from the mold. They seem to have like a little wave in them, like they were taken out of the mold, or the mold wasn't hot enough, or maybe too hot when they molded it. And I just wasn't happy with it. I bought it from Trains, and I've never had a problem returning anything there. Never. I don't have a problem with paying the buyer's premium, and I'm happy a lot of you guys won't pay it, because that leaves a lot of less competition. But yeah, these are made by Rubbermaid. The actual tracks and the brackets themselves. The tracks are $8 or $7 for a, I believe that's a 4-foot section. And where you get into the money on this setup is each one of these brackets is $250. So if you could come up with something cheaper on that, you could even do this for less. But me being of limited knowledge, on the handyman side. I'm just gonna have to spend the money for these. I've got these 2-piece sections that are left over, and they are going to go over here eventually and set, like, you know, engines and tenders, or possibly some standard gauge stuff, because I decided I'm going to start dabbling in some standard gauge, because I love to restore stuff, and you know, that's probably the last thing I need to do, but I guess I need to do it to be complete. But I just wanted to share that with you in case anybody decides to do this. They would look a lot better stained, and with, you know, like colored polyurethane on them and all that. You know, which I might eventually do it. But the object right now is to get them up, get the cars on them, get the layout going. You know, now that it's finally got warm, I may take them out, you know, one day this summer, one at a time, and paint them or stain them or something. But, you know, I was going for beauty the first time, but what we need here is a solid tree. So go through those boards and look at them. They feel even wet when you're going through the pile, because I don't know if they set them outside or what, or this that's from the treatment. But, you know, look for that grain, and the more knots, the better. That way you'll have a stronger board, and you won't have this going on. I mean, that's got the least amount of stuff on it, and it bowed the most. So that's where we're at. Still working hard, driving the truck. Don't like it, but it's a gig. It helps me buy trains, pay my bills, keep my life running. I'd love to get into trains somehow, O-gauge world, and work someplace. But good Lord willing, that'll happen. Maybe he's saving that for when I get a little bit older. But we've got 4 of these done on this side now, and there will be a total of 6 on this side, and we should have 6 on this side too, because, you know, as you see, there's a lot of empty space that I could have used, but everything was an experiment. You know, I had never done nothing like this. But, you know, I trust my Dreyfus up there. I've had the big boy on there. Big boy's out for repair right now. It's got an upgrade kit, but it wasn't functioning properly, so sent it to someone who knows what the heck they're doing, because I sure don't. And I've already been offered $450 for these Weaver cars, and I've passed it up. They just match the set so good, and I'm sure they would look great with that new Niagara coming out, the gray one. I am looking for an MTH set of New York Central cars. And like I said, I would like to get a Texas Special set that matches the post-war color nice. I have a set of MTH New Haven cars on the way. Got to finish paying for those. Fellows working with me on those, which is real cool. And it's an 11 car set. It's massive. And I also have a Proto 1 GG1 on the way, which if it's cool, we're just going to leave it Proto. Oh, and biggest of all things, I finally got an MTH Empire State Express and tender. It should be here next week. It is a Proto 1 model, and I will probably be sending that to a certain fellow on the O-Gauger forum to put a Proto 2 3-volt board in it for me. Not unless it's just so cool the way it is, but we're gonna probably lay that one out. That one's been on the list, waiting and waiting to try to find the right one. If I can stop buying trains, I will get this layout going. But I've been running into great deals, and I'm just gonna have to put the brakes on. We're gonna have an 80 or 84 loop, a 72, a 54, and then on the inside the standard gauge loop, and a loop or a figure 8 on trestles, maybe even of Super O for the post-war and pre-war Lionel stuff. Yeah, you know, I'll get that stuff out on the regular loops too and open it up, you know. There's nothing like a pair of them good old F3s and opening those up, you know. Them things run and they'll pull the house. So I haven't seen you guys for a while. Just thought I'd give you a shout, let you know what I'm up to. We're finishing these second set of shelves, blah, 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 and we're going to finally stop talking and get this layout down and running, so I can come home from work and enjoy myself. Right now everything has just been, you know, thrown around. I really wouldn't want to show you this whole state of this room right now because I'm embarrassed, but I am organizing things. I've got a lot of parts. I've got more parts coming in, and like I said, I was real happy to pick this 736 up at York for $80 with the 2046 tender. This is Kenny at Vinyl for Less. As always, God bless, and don't forget that Jesus Christ is our Lord, and without Him we are nothing. Alright guys, take it easy.